Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again tonight. Uh, after playing a couple fighting games, I thought we could use a palate cleanser, so I fired up Bust a Move for the Super Nintendo. Bust a Move is a puzzle game by Taito that originally came out for the Neo Geo arcade hardware in '95, I believe, maybe late '94. We'll start from the beginning. But it was also ported to the Super Nintendo shortly after that. It was one of those instances where a Super Nintendo port wasn't that much watered down compared to the arcade game. I first came to know this game in the arcade, and I played it, once or twice, but honestly, if you saw a Neo Geo back in the day, especially around '95, you were probably playing one of the Fatal Fury games, Samurai Showdown, or King of the Fighters. One thing I like about the design of Bust a Move is it's challenging, but it's also simple. You never feel like it's unfair or throwing anything at you that's unbeatable. Now, yes, it does really rely on your spatial reasoning. So if that's not your strong suit, well, you're going to have a bad day. But I think that's true of most puzzle games. Oh, now I have to make a decision. I feel like I might have chosen wrong. We'll see. Alright, I got out of that. And that's like I was saying. The game is challenging, but it doesn't really ever give you something you can't get your way out of unless you really make a series of mistakes. Bust a Move is one of my favorite puzzle games. I think it's also one of the last games I ever purchased for the Super Nintendo, at least in my original round of 16-bit game ownership. Obviously, I've purchased a lot more Super Nintendo games as the years have gone on, but back in the day when the system originally came out, I'm pretty sure that Bust a Move, if it wasn't the last game I purchased for the Super Nintendo, it was one of the last, because I was already moved on to the 32X and the Saturn. I stuck with the Super Nintendo a little bit longer than most, I think. I didn't stick with it as long to have a copy of Street Fighter Alpha 2 when it originally came out. Um, Funny sub-story to that, though, I did actually buy a brand new copy of Street Fighter Alpha 2 for my friend Don back when it came out, because he and his brother were still playing the Super Nintendo. Even when 32-bit consoles were the rage, they were still playing Super Nintendo and Genesis and enjoying the hell out of those games. And I miss those guys because they could really get joy out of gaming, and it was always fun to play games like River City Ransom and Street Fighter with them. Unfortunately, both of them have since passed away. That's kind of one of the drawbacks of being an adult, is some of the people you grow up with don't get to continue on their journey with you. Bust a Move also has a two-player mode, where both players compete against each other, and when somebody knocks some jewels off their side, garbage jewels appear on the other person's playfield. As you can imagine, that gets tense pretty quick. Now, one thing you need to understand is when this game came out, the whole Tetris phenomenon was winding down. People didn't really give two craps about columns. So Bust a Move did actually have somewhat of a following. People were playing it in the arcades, not to the same extent as SNK's fighting games, but people were playing it in the arcades, and the home version for the Super Nintendo sold a decent number of copies. Taito did not lose money on this. I feel like they were pretty smart, too, in how they went about the whole design and marketing. They didn't just market the game in gaming magazines. Um, and the game itself didn't have all the bells and whistles and trappings of more modern games of the time, so it wasn't a 32 megabit or a 64 megabit beast of a cartridge that cost a ton to produce. It was 4 megabits, which was the smallest cartridge size for the Super Nintendo, which is pretty impressive when you remember that this game came out toward the end of the Super Nintendo's lifespan. And while other games were getting larger and larger in terms of storage, this one was the minimum. So with that in mind, Taito put a small amount of money into a very well-produced product, and they made gangbusters off of it. Of course, then they had to go and fritter that away with spending money on arcade ports and other games that were, let's be nice and say, geared toward a small niche of the gaming population that wasn't big enough to maintain a company. But still, that's ancient history. They might have effectively gone away. I know they're still around, but Taito's not the same company that they once were. But the old Taito games like Bust a Move, they're still around, reminding us of the heyday of the 16-bit era. I don't know how much I'm going to play of this game. I know there's a cutscene that happens periodically. Maybe I'll play until the first cutscene, or maybe I'll do 12 or 15 levels or so. We'll see. I just want to give a good perspective on the game. Plus, it's nice to have a palate cleanser after all those fighting games. I mean, I think you've realized by now that fighting games were a major part of my video game heritage. And so, of course, I'm going to feature a lot of them on my channel. I promise you, though, there will be things that are not fighting games. I feel like I need to dial down the volume and just speak even more softly, like a Bob Ross, as I play this relaxing puzzle game that's meant to not be terribly stressful. Even though, let me tell you, when the crystals get near the bottom of the screen, I almost have 2 heart attacks. My spatial reasoning definitely isn't stellar right now, but I'm doing my best. And again, the game's not being unfair, I'm just missing shots. There we go. No harm, no foul, round clear. I would have loved it had they given me a purple one, but oh well. There we go. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm not just going to be reviewing fighting games. I've got a stack of games here that I want to review. Let me pause this for a second. So I've got, hopefully you can see it here. My camera likes to blur out things that aren't faces. That was FX Unit Yuki, I'd call it a homebrew title, but it's definitely a cut above that. A more recent game for the Sega Genesis. I hauled up my copy of Musha from the basement. I'll be doing a video on that. One of the greatest shoot 'em ups of all time. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't include Gunstar Heroes. I know everybody has done a video on Gunstar Heroes, but I have to add my perspective to that because that was a game that was significant to my video gaming heritage. As we get back to playing some Bust a Move here. I'd forgotten that the goal of this level was to take out the little lightning bolt symbols. So now, of course, I've got a bit of a pickle. Which, if you're like me and you're not terribly fond of pickles, is not a good situation to be in. There we go, let's get rid of that. I swear to God, I thought it was going the other way. That is a problem. That is also a problem. I am having what the kids today would call issues. This level, I think it might have me. We'll see. If I get out of this, this just proves that this game is as fair as it can be. Yeah. Oh, come on. Come on, man. I know what you're saying. How can a guy bork all of those moves? It's just a skill I have. Just a skill. I'm banking on a yellow one. Totally banking on a yellow one. I gotta be banking on my own ability to sink the shot. There we go. Most fair puzzle game of all time. What can I say? It is wild to believe that they put this game out in late 94, 95. I mean, talk about a brassy decision. And I know not a lot of people my age really bought it, but there was a subset of the population, you know, a few years older than me that bought this game up. I remember going into Electronics Boutique, which I think was the game store of the day, and I'd go in there and they would have copies of this game on the shelf. They wouldn't have a ton, but you know, they would always have some in stock. So somebody was buying them at a decent clip. I think I'm going to make this one my last level because I know for you guys out there, watching somebody play a puzzle game ad infinitum is just like watching paint dry. Hopefully listening to the music has been calming, and I haven't bored anyone to tears so much that they never want to come to my channel again. I mean, I'm a channel that also has accounting content, so I realize that I'm not exactly setting the table well here. In any event, I want to thank you guys for joining me on this joyride of playing one of the most relaxing Super Nintendo games that they ever made. Bust a Move by Taito.